Graham here, living the dream in 2023, and this is probably the most requested video I've ever had on the channel. Because in the last 12 months, I've had the fortune of crossing the pond on board American Airlines, British Airways, Virgin, and of course Delta, all in premium economy. And I'm constantly asked, which do I think is best? Hi, I'm Graham, and this is my wife Fiona, and we have always had a work hard, play hard philosophy. From London to New York, and of course the Caribbean, we live our dream through travel. And of course, the odd cocktail. And here on YouTube, we create our memories while living our dream. So come and join us as we share our memories with you. Right, before getting into this video, let's do a little bit of scene setting. Let's do a quick introduction, because I know what a number of you are saying, Graham, what about Star Alliance? You're not talking about Air Canada, you're not talking about WestJet, you're not talking about the mighty United. The bottom line, guys, is that here in the UK, since British Airways bought British Midland all those years ago, we no longer have a Star Alliance option connecting us in the region, and for Fiona and I, that means Glasgow down to London or Glasgow to another European destination. Of course, there is Lufthansa via Frankfurt, but let's be absolutely clear, Lufthansa offers, as it sits right now, probably one of the worst international hard products in the airline industry. And as a result of no more British Midland, and therefore Star Alliance here in the UK regions, Fiona and I carry two frequent flyer cards. That, of course, is British Airways covering One World and Virgin Atlantic covering SkyTeam. So how am I going to do this? Well, guys, I'm going to take 6 aspects of my premium economy experience over the last year with British Airways, American, Delta, and of course Virgin. I'm going to give each of them a score between 1 and 4, 4 being the best, 1 being the least. Probably going to give 1 0 on one of the aspects of my experience. But we're going to look at the connections, we're going to look at the boarding process, we're going to look at the pre-departure beverage, the food on board, the overall experience with the cabin crew, as which I'm calling the in-flight service, and finally I'm going to look at the seat comfort. Before I get into this, I just want to say one last thing. Of course, this is my own personal opinion. Feel free to completely disagree with me. In the post-pandemic world, airline travel has become so hit and miss. Some of the flights you will have will be awesome, fantastic. Some will be absolutely terrible. It really depends on, I suppose, luck at the end of the day. So guys, yeah, it is my opinion, and this is my opinion of Virgin Atlantic, British Airways, American Airlines, and of course Delta going transatlantic in premium economy. Living in Scotland, every time we have to travel, it means a flight connection somewhere in Europe. And for Fiona and I, that is typically London Heathrow. And it's got to the point where we very rarely even vlog these connecting flights from Glasgow down to London. As a result of British Airways flights beginning and ending at the same terminal here at London Heathrow International Airport, you'd think I would give this one to British Airways. However, I'm not going to. The bottom line is, guys, British Airways have become so unreliable. Any slight issue in their airline operations or operations here at London Heathrow means that British Airways will always cancel their domestic services first. However, when it does work, it is brilliant. And that's why I'm giving British Airways on this occasion second place and 3 points. And because American Airlines are part of the One World Alliance, I'm going to give them third place and 2 points. But when it comes to connections, Virgin Atlantic, I'm afraid, are going to come last. Because when they abandoned their Little Red project here in the UK, and of course because British Midland are no more, if you fly on Virgin Atlantic internationally from London Heathrow and you have to connect through London Heathrow, you're forced to use British Airways, and it's a very broken experience. So that means in the flight flight connections category, I'm going to give Delta Airlines first place. Because from Glasgow with Delta Airlines, you have multiple choices, including using British Airways down to Heathrow, which I wouldn't recommend. But if you want to fly Delta to New York via London Gatwick, you can always use EasyJet, which is extremely reliable in my books. But for Fiona and I, Delta have always been a winner because of their massive hub at Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport. Because of course KLM are one of the founding members of the SkyTeam Alliance. They also offer a fantastic reliable connection between Glasgow and Amsterdam Schiphol. And quite frankly guys, they built their entire business to the UK regions with transfer or connections in mind. And while Schiphol is a truly massive airport complex, but at the end of the day it is only one terminal building, making flight connections really simple and easy. And in the years that Fiona and I have been transiting Amsterdam Schiphol, we've never lost a bag, which is a lot more than we could say for using London Heathrow. So that's it guys, first place and our 4 points in the flight connections category goes to Delta Airlines. When it comes to the boarding process, all 4 airlines that I'm reviewing in this video all operate a boarding by group number process. Typically group 1 are the first class passengers or those with the highest tier membership in the airline's loyalty program. Second up, of course, being business class. But for all of the American airlines that I've travelled on over the years, including AA and Delta, who I'm reviewing in this video, they all prioritise serving military personnel and veterans, and I think this is a really lovely touch, something we should definitely be doing here in the United Kingdom. So for all 4 airlines, British Airways, American Airlines, Delta, and of course Virgin, premium economy passengers typically board on the 3rd or 4th group. But in 4th and last place on this boarding segment, I'm going to give it to British Airways. In my opinion, over the years of using British Airways, I've always felt their boarding process to be a complete cluster. It is disorganised, especially here at London Heathrow. And if you end up at gate 10, the bus gates at London Heathrow T5, you're in for a shock guys, because it doesn't really matter if you're travelling first class, business class, premium economy or economy. The BA boarding process completely sucks, and the BA ground staff simply don't care. But when it came to 2nd and 3rd place, I had a very hard decision between Virgin Atlantic and Delta. However, I'm going to simply be arbitrary and give Delta 2nd place, mainly because the Delta ground staff are a little bit more disciplined when it comes to managing the group boarding priority process, and the fact that I do love them giving priority to serving military and veterans. But when it comes to boarding, I'm going to give American Airlines first place, because the first email that you will get in the morning is to let you know where to check in, and then you receive emails at every stage of the boarding process. And as a result, I just love how proactive American Airlines are when it comes to their boarding process. Guys, I don't know about you, but I love a pre-departure beverage, a little welcome drink when you board the aircraft, something again that differentiates economy from premium economy. And in this segment, I'm giving American Airlines a big fat 0 because they didn't serve a pre-departure beverage in their premium economy when I crossed the pond in January 2023. And I'm afraid Delta Airlines also get a big fat 0 because they didn't serve a pre-departure beverage on the flight that we took from Amsterdam to Detroit, or Atlanta back to Amsterdam in April 2022. And because British Airways does at least offer a pre-departure beverage, even if it is water or an orange juice, it is at least something, but I think they could do a lot better. So I'm going to give them 2 points in this situation. So the winner when it comes to pre-departure beverage and premium economy, and therefore 4 points go to Virgin Atlantic. It is only Prosecco guys, but it is an extremely nice welcome on board. So thumbs up to Virgin Atlantic, and of course 4 points go to you. And when it comes to food and therefore onboard catering on premium economy, I'm afraid I'm going to put American Airlines in last place with 1 point. Vegetarian mac and cheese is something that I would give a 2-year-old and not an adult who's just paid nearly £2,000 for a return flight between the UK and the States in premium economy. Second place and 2 points goes to British Airways. From memory and experience using British Airways quite a few times on transatlantic routes between the UK and the US and Canada, the food that you get seems to just be the same as you would get in economy. And to be quite honest guys, it's just not great. When it comes to food and catering, I think you're going to be very surprised at my second place choice because it's going to Virgin Atlantic. The food was okay guys, but I must admit it was just pretty boring, including the westbound outbound route and our eastbound overnight flight back to the UK 2 weeks later. And as a result, in first place, and therefore 4 points go to Delta Airlines. The food and catering on both our westbound and our eastbound overnight sectors between the Netherlands and of course the USA were just excellent. When it comes to onboard service, I'm afraid American Airlines come last again with only 1 point. On my American Airlines premium economy flight between London Heathrow and Phoenix back in January 2023, there was less than 70 passengers on a near 300 passenger aircraft. Cabin crew had an absolute opportunity to shine, but didn't. They were simply missing in action most of the flight, and when you did see them, they were robotic and plastic. Third place in this category I'm awarding to British Airways with 2 points. The cabin crew are always pretty friendly, and they do their job, but quite frankly guys, that's it, nothing more. In my opinion, cabin crew should engage with their passengers. After all, they're ambassadors for their brand, their airline. And while British Airways used to have some of the best cabin crew in the skies, they don't anymore. And as a result, I'm putting Delta in second place with 3 points. In both the premium economy transatlantic flights that we took with Delta Airlines in April 2022, the cabin crew were professional, they were friendly, but most importantly, they were engaging. So in the category of cabin service, I'm giving first place and 4 points to Virgin Atlantic. Their cabin crew are simply streets ahead of the rest. And from all of the flights that I've taken with Virgin Atlantic, including the 2 premium economy flights in July 2022, their cabin crew didn't just do their job in the most professional and friendly way, they were also extremely engaging, but most importantly, they wanted to get to know their passengers. And in our last category, where I'm looking at seat comfort, American Airlines, I'm afraid, come last with 1 point again. I simply don't know where to get their premium economy seats from, because after a 10-hour flight, I was so glad to get off their lumpy, bumpy and extremely uncomfortable seat. I didn't manage to sleep one wink during my flight across the Atlantic with American Airlines in January 2023. You may be surprised by my third place and only 2 points going to Virgin Atlantic. Both flights that we took with them in 2022 was on board the 787 Dreamliner. This product is badly in need of an overhaul, and it probably has been on their Airbus A350. But I'm judging them on my experience of 2 transatlantic crossings in July 2022, and the product is just okay. It's a bit tired, but it's not great. And it's certainly not as good as Delta's and British Airways. So in the category of seat comfort, my second place and 3 points goes to Delta Airlines. But I do want to state here that both our transatlantic flights with Delta in April 2022 were on board the A350, which is their flagship. But at the end of the day, guys, I can only judge what I can judge, and I think Delta's premium economy was certainly a step above the rest. Except British Airways, who in the category of seat comfort and premium economy, I'm going to give first place and 4 points. To be honest guys, I'm not a fan of leather seats on long haul aircraft, and the new premium economy seat that British Airways have installed in the Airbus A350-1000 fleet is just superb. So my very own scientific approach to evaluating premium economy on board transatlantic airlines between 2022 and 2023, there is a winner, but not by a massive margin, and with 17 points, that's Virgin Atlantic. Delta Airlines come a close second place with 16 points, and in third place British Airways with 14 points. And lagging in fourth place is American Airlines, which is not surprising due to the number of comments that I got after I produced that trip report from London across to Phoenix in January 2023. Everyone was saying and agreeing with me that they thought American Airlines in premium economy was substandard. And that's it, guys. I did say this was very unscientific. It was just my opinion from 4 flights across the Atlantic in premium economy. I am interested if you agree with me or disagree with me. But as I said at the beginning of this video, on most occasions it is simply your luck on the day. Whatever your thoughts, thank you very much for watching.